St. Louis coach Jim Hannafin explains the big upset by the Cardinals over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it was a fantastic play by Carl Allen, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him and Carmichael, and he tipped it, brought it down in, and then made a fantastic run out of it. It was just a great effort, desire on Carl's part, and it was a big play. It really gave us the momentum that we needed.
Rookie of the Year Otis Anderson last season has been nagged by a shoulder injury, but he was up to dazzling form against the Eagles. This is a 31-yard touchdown run. Watch him today, number 32. As for the Saints, they lost a heartbreaker at the Orange Bowl against the Miami Dolphins. Miami with 16 seconds to play, leading by 5, tries to punt on 4th down. It's blocked by Rich Motti, number 84. Now the scramble for the loose ball. And finally, the Saints recover on the 10-yard line of Miami. 1st down, 6 seconds to go. Manning throws what looks like a touchdown pass to Ike Harris, but no, there goes the flag, and they call it offensive pass interference. Today, the NFL on CBS, the St. Louis Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints. From the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Hi, everybody. I'm Kurt Gowdy with Hank Stram. A thriller. We'll get into that offensive pass interference later. The league has called and explained to the Saints that it was not offensive pass interference, but they can't play the game over again. So what about today's game, Hank, the key for the Cardinals and for the Saints?
Well, I think psychologically, when you lose a game like the Saints lost last week, sometimes you come back and you come back very loose and you come back and play an extremely good football game. On the other hand, the St. Louis Cardinals won a big game for them against the Philadelphia Eagles, 24-14. They want to maintain the momentum they established last week. So I look forward to really be an outstanding football game with a lot of action.
All right, and action it is. Let's get down on the field. That's Rich Motti, 84 for the Saints. They're going to receive. Motti's averaged nearly 27 yards a kickoff return. He's 3rd in the National Conference. He does it all. Punts, kickoffs. You saw him block the kick at Miami. He's just a real hustler. Little will be doing the kicking off. Steve Little. And here we go. The Saints and the Cardinals from the Superdome. He drives it. Motti on the 3, out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, 25, finds the 3 ball, and then comes up to the 30-yard line where the Saints will put the ball in play.
That was a trolley line kick. Very low, got to Motti very quickly, and for that reason he was able to get it back in pretty good shape to the 30-yard line.
There are the skilled position players, Chandler, Harris, Brooks Williams, the receivers, at the offensive line, Taylor, Sanders, Hill, Woods, and Brock.
I look for the Saints to be very loose here this afternoon and throw the ball a great deal because this is what they really do best.
Muncie's gone. We'll talk about that also. That's Ike Harris in motion. There's a play-action pass. Manning in trouble, flips it out. He throws the ball high. He had Ike Harris open against the sideline, but threw it high to him. Harris was the man that caught a touchdown, really caught 2 last week. 1 was disallowed. Here's the Cardinal defense. They play a 3-man line. Pollard, Acker, young nose tackle. Jankowski is the right end. Niels, Carney, Williams, and Arneson are the linebackers. Collier and Worley on the corners. And the 2 greens are the safety men. That secondary, by the way, Hank, is altogether different than the one we saw a couple of weeks ago in San Francisco.
Yes, and we can look for Bob Pollard, number 82, the defensive left end who played for us here at New Orleans, to be very emotionally involved in this game and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback today.
2nd down 10 for New Orleans. Manning again to Harris. They're right on him. They're spinning down at the 32-yard line. That's Roger Worley, the 12-year veteran cornerback. He was there, kind of just waited for him, and wham.
That was a quick screen. They faked to the right, threw back to the left side to Ike Harris, but they had double coverage, which means they had 2 receivers, 2 defensive backs on 1 receiver. Ike Harris had no chance whatsoever to do any business on the play, and now it's 3rd and long.
3rd down 8. From the 32-yard line of the Saints. No score. We're just underway. Manning. Pass out, and they have the 1st down. That's Brooks Williams, the tight end. They'll say no, they put him down. They put him down back on the 38. That's where he went down. He tried to lunge forward, but they said he body hit Brooks Williams on the 38-yard line, so that leaves New Orleans short. Some of the crowd didn't like that, but that's the way it is. And he caught that ball and went down, and he was touched there. Manning coming out, punt formation now. Mark Bell is the safety man. Ertzleben will do the punting. He has the lowest average in the conference, 35, just a little over 35 yards. Kicks a high, wobbly spiral. Taken on the 20. That's Bell. Bell comes up to the 25. And he's racked up. There goes the flag down. Bell racked up just short of the 30-yard line. And downfield to make that hit, number 41 of the Saints, Jimmy Rogers, the youngster. Flipping. That'll move the Cardinals back. And they'll be starting in a hole, Hank.
Yes, and Mark Bell that time had a good seam to the inside, was a little hesitant getting into it, and for that reason didn't get nearly as much out of the return as he possibly could have.
Flipping on the kick return, number 38. First down.
Lee Nelson. There he is. See him from behind. Number 38 ran right up the back of a would-be defender there. It's first down now. The Cardinals ball on their 7-yard line. Their first possession in the I formation. Running right up the middle is Wayne Morris, number 24 of SMU. He's a good hitter inside the tackles. Of course, Anderson carries most of the load running for the Cardinals. Tommy Myers, the safety man, and Joe Fettersfield, the middle linebacker, made the stop. They're the running backs. And the receivers, Gray, Tilley, and Marsh, a rookie tight end. They're really high on him, by the way. With Oates, Bostic, Brahaney, Banks, Deardo at the top.
I think the Cardinals are definitely going to try to exercise good balance here between the run and the pass. And they're going to try to get the ball to the fullback more to give more running room to Anderson.
There's a first down. Morris breaking outside. Just nipped around the ankle by Tommy Hart at the 31-yard line. It'll be a first down for the St. Louis Cardinals.
A simple handoff off tackle with Wayne Morris, number 24, going into the off tackle area. He does a good job of running to the inside, bounces back out to the outside, and is finally tackled there by Tommy Hart, but he makes a good gain on the play.
St. Louis on their 31-yard line. First down. No score. 11:55 to go in the first period. Running out of the I again. Anderson, the tailback of the I. Number 74, Derlin Moore, and Tommy Hart, the veteran of 13 years, 53 were there and refused to budge much. Maybe they gave 2 yards. There's the defensive line. New Orleans opens with a front four. Instead of Risto at right end, it is Hart in there. There are the linebackers, Bordelon, Fettersfield, Mathis. Cornerbacks, Chapman and Ray. And we have Tommy Myers, and Don Swartz is open in place of Brown.
And they put in Dave Washington and Jimmy Kovach, 2 linebackers on the Oklahoma defense.
Second down 8 for St. Louis. They run it again on the draw. Morris over the 35 is pulled down at the 37-yard line by Derlin Moore, the right tackle from the University of Oklahoma, his 8th year in the National Football League.
That was a delayed draw that time with a fullback went in front. They gave it to the halfback. Derlin Moore did a good job of responding. He was a cop on the play. The policeman was responsible for the draw and screen, responded very well, went to the right side and made the tackle. Number 74, Derlin Moore.
Theodis Brown comes in to receive a pass maybe out of the backfield. Marsh, the tight end, has gone out, and they're going to put in another wide receiver. 3 wide receivers. Mark Bell's in the game now. 3rd and 4. Cardinals ball. Here's Hart for his first pass. Shoots it out. He has a first down to Bell. Bell's out of bounds in Saint territory at the Saint 48, driven out by Ricky Ray, the right cornerback. Mark Bell, a first-year player from Colorado State, came in there as the 3rd wide receiver, Hank.
The reason that play succeeded really was the offensive line of the St. Louis Cardinals did an excellent job of pass blocking. The backs also stayed in and blocked. And for that reason, he had plenty of time to throw, spotted the receiver, Mark Bell, on the outside, even though he was double covered, and they pick up the first down. 15-yard gain in the play.
It's a 47.5 of the Saints, so move it officially to the 47. You always go to the next yard line. Cardinals ball on the Saints 47. Hart to Morris. Morris trying to hit off right tackle. Down he goes, maybe a yard gain, and he's hit there. Coming up, Tommy Myers, the free safety, and the Lois Grooms, the left end, to stop Wayne Morris. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited.
That play did not succeed because the Lois Grooms that time did a good job on Deerdorf, and Mathis, the linebacker, also came up and stuffed the play.
Bordelon's out. Dave Washington's in now as the linebacker for the Saints. There goes Anderson to the 40. He has a first down to the 36-yard line. Otis Anderson. All he needs, Hank, is just that little sliver of daylight.
That was a trap play inside, and they're doing a good job. It really wasn't a trap play. It looked like it was, but it was nothing but a sucker play with a right guard pulling, straight ahead blocking. They did a good job on the left side. Brad Oakes and Joe Bostic, Tom Brahaney, and they provide good running room for Anderson, and he makes another first down.
Anderson came into this game with an average of 4.9 a carry, 3 touchdowns. Now the ball's on the 36 of the Saints. There's a flag down. The pass is complete to Mel Gray, a short hitch pattern to the 30-yard line of the Saints. Clarence Chapman wraps Gray up, but a flag was tossed at the snap of the ball.
St. Louis is doing a good job against the flex, which the Saints are using on first down. It's a very soft defense against the forward pass. That time they threw on first down, and then on long yardage, when they bring in the Oklahoma defense, then they run, and they've been very successful.
Offside against New Orleans.
There you see Clarence Chapman backpedaling, gave him a lot of room, a big cushion. Gray makes the catch up in front. Made a mistake of cutting back to the inside. Should have made a decision, gone to the outside. He'd have gotten a lot more on the play.
Well, they give Mel Gray a lot of room because he's averaged 19 yards a catch this year. That officially is not a reception. They have refused the play and taken the penalty, which leaves them first down. 5 to go. Cardinals ball on the Saints 31. No score. 8:47. First period. The Cardinals have won 5 of the 7 meetings between these clubs, including the last meeting, 49-31 back in '77. Morris skipping over the 30, pounds his way to the 28-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. And he's hit there by Mike Fultz, the left tackle. Tommy Hart, the old veterans, roaming all over today.
Lois Grooms again, the defensive left end, did a good job of maintaining outside position on Deerdorf. He forced a play to the inside. By the time he did cut, linebackers came in for the kill, and he didn't make nearly as much out of the play as it looked like he might.
Second down, 2 to go. St. Louis Cardinals on the New Orleans 28-yard line. Jim Hart having one of his best years. 15 years in the NFL. He went into a weight conditioning program. There goes Anderson. Oh, I tell you, we saw him for the first time last year. I couldn't believe he was that good, Hank, a rookie coming out of Miami. He's going down. If he doesn't get hurt, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats.
An off-tackle play from the I formation, handing off to Anderson. A good block by Morris at the point of attack on the linebacker. He cuts to the inside and fights his way for extra yardage. Good running on the part of O.J. Anderson. 6 yards in the play.
Otis Anderson now has 10 100-yard games in less than a season and a half with the Cardinals. That's an all-time Cardinal record, and he's just starting. I formation, Anderson the tailback, but the up man, Morris, gets the ball, and he's to the 18 on the quick opener, Wayne Morris. And they're eating New Orleans alive now off that line of scrimmage. You're exploding that offensive line of the Cardinals. They moved from their 12 to the 18.
The Lois Grooms that time made the tackle. It was a counter play up the middle, good for 4 yards, but good blocking at the point of attack by Bostic, Brahaney, and Banks, along with Deerdorf and Brad Oakes, the left tackle.
Thiesman threw a 54-yard touchdown pass to Ricky Thompson for that Redskins score. Second down. 6. Flag is down, and that play goes nowhere.
Derlin Moore, the right tackle, looks like he was offside on the play. Defensive tackle number 74, Derlin Moore.
We'll see what it is. Offside, you're right, Hank. Offside against the New Orleans Saints. Baltimore, Miami. Burt Jones to Roger Carr. They're hooking the old battery up again. 25 yards, 11:39 left in the first quarter, and the Colts lead Miami 7-0.
Defense, offside, number 74. Second down.
There you saw a good shot of Derlin Moore jumping offside prematurely and being assessed a 5-yard penalty.
Second down, a short yard to go. St. Louis Cardinals on the New Orleans 13-yard line. This has been a long drive with a lot of time being used up by the Cardinals. A coach's dream. Keep the ball over 12, 13 plays and use the clock. Anderson squirting to the 5-yard line, to the 10, and he stopped there. First down. O.J. Anderson had to be taken in the secondary by the safety men Myers and Schwartz with some help from behind by Fetterspiel, the middle linebacker.
Hannafin, you see on the sideline here, is very involved with his team. He calls the offensive plays from the sidelines, give the signals. Tommy Bettis, who does such a great job with their defensive backs, calls the defensive signals for the St. Louis Cardinals.
First and goal to go. That ball's nosed over the 10-yard line. Cardinals threatening in this opening drive now. 6 minutes to play in the first period. Morris running off tackle. He had a gaping hole open. He went to the 3-yard line. Grooms finally pulled him down. What a hole they had for him, though.
Beautiful, and it was available because they anticipated the fact that the ball might go to Anderson, the right tackle. Pull on the play. Got a good block on the outside linebacker, Bordelon. He went through the hole, fought through some traffic, and ran down to about the 3-yard line. A beautiful run, good execution, good blocking at the point of attack by Dan Deerdorf, who pulled the tight end Marsh and also Tom Banks.
Second down, 3 to go for a touchdown. Chris Combs is in now, double tight end offense. Look at that, the old full house.
The old high button shoe.
High button shoe, T formation. That's the way it used to look years ago. And that's Theodis Brown trying to plunge over. He can't make it. Theodis Brown, second year back out of UCLA. And was he happy today about his old school victory as they shut out Ohio State?
That's a power formation, a balance formation, talking about the full house of the old high button shoe offense. But the great thing about the formation is the fact that you can run either right, left, off tackle right, off tackle left, outside right, outside left, and it's a good solid basic formation where you get good push and good momentum.
You used to use it sometimes at Kansas City, I remember. Third down, 2 to go for a Cardinal touchdown. Morse scores. Wayne Morse is over for the touchdown. That's his third touchdown of the season, and that drive is 88 yards. Very crisply executed. Tremendous running game by the Cardinals.
Good straight ahead blocking at the point of attack. O.J. Anderson, number 32, makes a good block on the corner man. Number 22, Ricky Ray, he ran to the inside. There you see Morris going inside, following the block of Theodis Brown, also number 33. But good execution, a good push, good takeoff on the left side, and they go in for the touchdown.
And Otis Anderson, you saw, shove a man out of the way there, took him out of the play. The kick is good by Steve Little, and the Cardinals are on the board. So, with 4:45 remaining in the first quarter, timeout, and it's 7-0 St. Louis.
You're about to see Ford pickups make 6-cylinder EPA fuel economy history. For 1981, Ford breaks this mileage barrier with the best estimated MPG ever achieved by a 6-cylinder pickup. And here's another breakthrough, the first and only automatic overdrive option in any 8-cylinder truck. When your speed reaches about 40, it automatically shifts into overdrive and your engine runs slower. Only Ford has V8 automatic overdrive. For 1981, Ford pickups make one breakthrough after another. They're built Ford tough.
Take it easy. You know, I was known for working long and hard during training camp. Why, even after my teammates were asleep, I'd still be out practicing my moves, and that's still important. So I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and the best thing is it's less filling. Because listen, I still train the same way as the old days. Practice, practice, practice.
Like beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
They officially call it 88 yards. Hank Stram will comment on a drive like that. That's a coach's dream, isn't it, Hank?
Oh, you love to sit on the bench and watch that kind of a drive, because the big thing is they made a lot of yardage on first down most of the time, wound up with 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 2. That's when it's fun to be on offense, and especially to be the quarterback and the coordinator who's calling the plays.
And they used over 8 minutes on the drive. The kick is coming to Rich Motti. Motti, a yard in the end zone, comes out to the 10, 15 to the 20. Stays on his feet and is finally out of bounds. They'll put him out along the 30. He was taken out by John Bearfield, number 58 of Texas A&I, a third-year man who plays on the special teams for the Cardinals. And the first time the Saints had the ball, they couldn't move. Well, let's see what they do now. Scores. Calhoun has run 14 yards for a touchdown for the Patriots. They lead the Jets 7-0. And it's 3-0 Detroit over Atlanta. That rookie, Ed Murray's kicked another field goal. 43 yards on that one.
They started the last drive with a forward pass.
Out of a split backfield, it goes to Holmes, the fullback, and he's down at the line of scrimmage. Jack Holmes, Texas Southern. As most of you know, Chuck Muncie was traded last Sunday to San Diego for a high draft pick. There's been mixed reviews about the trade in the local papers here. Some praise the Saints for making the deal. Others criticize them for giving a talented star away. Others said they had to do it. But that's it.
You know, the amazing things about the Saints is the fact that in the 4 games they've played, they've averaged 74 yards rushing as a team, and that's very bad.
Second down, 10. Manning's pass is to the 35. That's to Jack Holmes, who sifted out of the backfield, and he's stopped immediately by Eric Williams, the inside linebacker.
And Bob Pollard, number 82, the defensive left end, put a lot of pressure on Archie. Got there just a fraction late, but Archie did a good job of hanging in the pocket and getting rid of the ball and throwing the ball against the zone defense to Jack Holmes. There you see it. Both backs release. You see Holmes anchoring, squatting in the middle area. The ball is thrown high. But he's in front of the linebacker, so it's a good play for them.
5 defensive backs in for the Cardinals. 3rd and 5 for the Saints from their 35.
Four-man rush this time.
Manning shoots it out to Holmes. He drops the ball. Again to the fullback coming out of the backfield. And again, the Saints fail to move on their second possession as they did their first. They're getting booed now here at the Superdome by their home fans. And coming in to punt is Russell Ertzleben.
They've got to put Tony Galbraith in the game here soon. He's an excellent receiver, the best running back they have, and they can't afford to keep him on the bench very much longer, I don't think, because they're not going to be as nearly as productive with him on the bench as they would be if we were in the football game.
Ertzleben averaging 43 yards in this game with only 1 punt. That's better than his seasonal average. And he kicks this away, a big high one. Mark Bell's back to the 14, to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, to the 40, still going, and is pulled down. Great return on the 33-yard line, and he took that ball inside the 15. Larry Hardy nipped him. He found the alley right up the middle, and away he went. Mark Bell puts the Cardinals right back in scoring position. And we have a timeout on the field with a score. The St. Louis Cardinals 7 and the New Orleans Saints nothing.
Harry, you've been gone for hours. Didn't they have a muffler for your car?
I should have gone to Midas.
Did you get a guarantee this time?
I should have gone to Midas.
So how much did you spend?
I should have gone to Midas.
Before you go anywhere else for a muffler, come to Midas. And you won't go anywhere else.
So tell me, Harry, how come you didn't go to Midas?
It pays to Midasize.
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 of decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John...
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar. Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, see the Beauty and the Beast. International gymnastics and the world's strongest men next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
This begins with a good catch. Look, he catches the ball where you have to catch it right about number high. He's very decisive. Goes through a seam, through the cavity, and watch Ken Stone, number 23, out in front, throws a beautiful block on Erxleben. Bell cuts to the inside, is finally caught from the backside by Mathis, number 56, but a beautiful return and good execution on the part of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Erxleben has been kicking well in this game, his best of the season. He booted that one 52 from scrimmage, but the Cardinals returned it 54. First down, St. Louis on the Saints 33. At a near offside there. All right, here's a handoff. Cutting up the middle over the 30 is Wayne Morris, and he goes to the 29 of the Cardinals, where he was dropped by Joe Felderspiel, the middle linebacker, the 9-year veteran from Kentucky.
Wayne Morris runs off tackle and bleeds yardage very well that time. There wasn't really much running room on the play, but he cut back to the inside and was finally tackled by Joe Federspiel. But even at that, he still picked up 4 yards in the play.
Jim Hart has passed for over 30,000 yards now in his career, and he's done well against the Saints, if you saw that statistic. Second down, 6. 29-yard line of the Saints, line of scrimmage. Over the 25, Anderson to the 20. He has the first down. Once he gets momentum, he just they're making first downs on second down so far.
Wayne Morris really does a good job of blocking the linebacker 56 Mathis. Watch this block. Knocks him to the outside. Good cavity on the inside. Anderson sees the running room. Mike Fultz, number 72, finally makes the tackle. But it's a beautifully executed play by the St. Louis Cardinals.
Anderson has now gained more than 2,000 yards in his short career. This is just his 21st NFL game. He needed 29 yards today. Morris bangs up the middle and hits to the 10-yard line, where he was tripped up around the ankles by Mike Fultz, the left tackle of the Saints. It'll be second down, 5 to go for a Cardinal first down, and Atlanta's come back to lead the Lions 7-3. Let's check the yardage for Otis Anderson so far.
That time it was another counter play with Wayne Morris going up the middle. They fake outside to Anderson to move the linebackers, get them moving in one direction, and then run behind, especially Joe Federspiel on the flex defense.
40 yards so far, 6 carries for Otis Anderson. There he is again. 5, and he goes to the 3, has a first down and goal to go. Tommy Hart took him. 2 men hit him along the way. He not only has amazing balance, but he is powerful.
That was a trap play inside. Tommy Myers, number 37, has a shot at him, but misses. There you see Tommy Myers missing the tackle. He goes through the cavity and picks up a nice gain of ball now in about the 3.5-yard line. 7-yard gain on the play.
Anderson's averaging about 6 yards a carry. Mel Gray's out. Theodis Brown's in. The old full house backfield. First and goal to go for the Cardinals. Brown trying to plunge it up the middle. He only gets a yard. They pile him up there. And timeout on the officials while they untangle. It'll be second down, 2 to go for a St. Louis Cardinal touchdown. They're already out in front. 7-0 with just 8 seconds to play in the right upper right corner of your screen, as you see. And the Cardinals have Marsh and Combs, 2 rookie tight ends. Hank, they're very high on these. I asked Larry Wilson, the Cardinal. There goes the gun. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back and comment on that. That's the end of the first quarter from the Superdome with a score 7-0 in favor of St. Louis.
Now, the Firestone steel-belted Trax 12 radial. Trax 12 has special traction bars for pulling power in snow, but they're hidden in the Trax 12 tread for smooth, quiet turnpike driving. Long-lasting Trax 12 with traction you can see. Traction 12 months a year. Trax 12, Firestone's lowest-priced steel-belted white wall radial.
We talked about solar energy for years, but on a policeman's pay, we couldn't afford it until this new system. Right now, heat from the sun is being stored in solar rods in our crawl space. The rods use a plastic pipe developed by Phillips Petroleum. That helps keep the cost of our system down. Solar doesn't supply all our heat, but it really cut our heating costs. Boy, that feels good. Especially on days like today.
Phillips Petroleum. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
Tuesday, Robert Conrad stars with Ross Martin in more Wild Wild West. Can our heroes stop Jonathan Winters from blowing up the world? A special movie premiere Tuesday night.
Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana. Cardinals really dominating the first period. Listen to these statistics. Rushing. Cardinals 93, Saints none.
They're in a Model T formation again. Last time they ran to the left for the touchdown. Let's see if they might run to the right this time.
Second down, 2 for a Cardinal touchdown. They go to the left. And battling to the goal line and over for the score was Wayne Morris. Morris has scored his second touchdown of the game. 5-year veteran from SMU.
Model T formation, full house. Anderson misses the block this time on Ricky Ray, the outside cornerback, but he gets inside in good shape. The blocking at the point of attack was very good. He goes through the traffic and just barely makes it into the end zone for the touchdown. A good push by the offensive line. Brad Oaks, Joe Bostic, center Tom Brahaney.
And the kick good by Steve Little. So timeout here in the second quarter. And we'll be back in Orleans to see if the Saints can get something going. It is now 14-0 Cardinals.
There's one team that plays for keeps. It's a big team. Its color is green. The big green team of National Car Rental.
We play for keeps, to keep you coming back.
We try to answer calls in under 3 rings at one of the most modern reservation centers.
When the GM car you want passes our maintenance checklist, you know it's dependable.
That's how we play for keeps.
And that's why I keep coming back. 16 times this past year.
The big green team. 12,000 people worldwide. We play for keeps.
We want to make you smile.
Welcome back. I see you brought a friend. My boss. Hasn't smiled the whole trip. I'm back.
I think you'll like our beds.
Big room.
Everything all right?
Just fine. Call me for dinner. In an hour.
We made him smile.
Come to Holiday Inn where your smile says we're number 1 in people pleasing.
The NBA champion Lakers take their magic show to Seattle to battle the Supersonics next Friday night, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central on CBS Sports.
Rich Motti to receive his third kickoff of the game. Steve Little will boot for the Cardinals. And if the Saints don't get active here in the second period, they're going to catch it from the home fan. They put that man, Wayne Wilson, right up against the sideline. As he tries to get out of there, he is pinned way back on his 12-yard line. And down the cover was Randy Love.
Here's Tony Galbraith, and I'm very surprised that they haven't put him in the football game yet because he's a very dangerous runner, excellent pass receiver, and I'm also surprised that they haven't really made Tony Galbraith a tailback and use Wayne Wilson as a fullback. That would be a very dynamic twosome, I think, much more impressive than what they have right now.
Now the Saints ball on their 13-yard line. Chandler's flanked to the left. Mike Harris to the right. Here's Manning on a rollout. Looks upfield. Throws on the run. There's the first down for him. Here's Brooks Williams. The ball is fumbled by Williams. Let's see who's got it. The Saints recover. Chandler down on the ball. Wes Chandler alertly. He was downfield. Let's look at that play again. The Saints nearly gave it away in their own territory.
Play action pass, faking to the fullback and the halfback. They flood the zone, which means they have 3 receivers in one area. They hit the receiver on the outside. He fumbles the ball, and you see Wes Chandler recovering that fumble.
That hit was made by Tim Carney. Henry Childs, who's had a bad knee, is in the game now for New Orleans at tight end, replacing Brooks Williams. First down. Saints on their 36. And that is Wayne Wilson trying to scoot over his right guard. Short yardage. He is taken there by Mark Arneson, who is the right linebacker for the Cardinals. There's Childs, a veteran. He'd be the regular starter had it not been for the injury that slowed him up here early in the season.
Henry Childs and Tony Galbraith have excellent hands. They're both very soft, and they make some remarkable catches. Both have the same kind of ability as far as catching the ball is concerned.
Second down, 7. Manning shoots it out. Good grab. Henry Childs crossing the tight end. They crossed him over the middle. He's brought down by Roy Green. And you're right about the soft hands.
Well, he goes back into the pocket. Henry Childs runs a pattern to the inside. Good pass protection. Throws it right on the money, on the numbers. He makes the catch, and it's good for 15 yards. But they had that capacity to move the ball once they use their receivers like they should.
First down, Saints on the Cardinal 45. The Cardinals are ahead in the game, 14-0. 12:48 to play in the first half.
See if they send Childs in motion. There he goes.
And here comes the pitch to Wilson. Wilson trying to cut. He's taken at the line of scrimmage. They are not running at all against the Cardinals. And if they're going to move, it looks like it's going to have to be through the air, but they need to run to make the air game better.
Yeah, that's right, Kurt. Even if they don't make much yardage on the play, they have to run some draws. They have to run some screens. They have to run some basic vanilla plays just to keep them honest so they can throw the ball better and keep the rush off of Archie Manning.
Second down, 10. Both clubs have had transitions in the offensive lines. Chandler's Ike Harris out to the left now.
St. Louis has to put more pressure on the quarterback. Here's a blitz.
They've got a blitz on. Manning throws it, and it is intercepted. It is intercepted. Over the 50. Still running with the ball. Reggie Mathis. Or Tim Carney. Carney grabs the ball and runs it over the 50.
Tim Carney really made a super interception that time. Number 56, the inside linebacker. There was a blitz on. They put some pressure on Archie. He looked like he had the man open, but Carney came out of nowhere to make that interception.
And there is a major penalty. A major penalty. The pass was intended for Childs from Manning. Maybe unsportsmanlike conduct. A personal foul, let's see.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Spearing on the defense.
Spearing. A big one. Let's watch the play now with Hank Stram.
He tries to hit Childs in the inside, and it looks like he's going through a revolving door that time. And Carney really does a great job. I'm surprised with all the tape he's got on his hands that he could maintain possession and make that interception like he did. But he does a good job of making a catch and running for the yardage.
Here it is, the 1981 Ford Bronco. Wherever there's brutal weather and tough terrain, you'll find Bronco, the four-wheeler for all seasons. It's trim with the best gas mileage of any six-cylinder four-wheeler. The only four-wheeler with independent front suspension to step over bumps for a stable ride. And it has a roomy, comfortable interior. Yes, for advanced design and six-cylinder mileage, Bronco comes out on top.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player. Did everything with my feet. Took out the rubbish with my feet, made the bed with my feet, drove my mum crazy. But I finally found something I enjoy doing with my hands, drinking light beer from Miller. Light has a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling. But what really makes me happy is the taste. It's terrific. Now, my mum should be happy too. Look, Mum, no feet.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
At JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't give you the business because we want to keep your business.
They didn't sell me the JCPenney battery. They said the 5-year battery was powerful enough for my car. It was.
I thought I needed new shock absorbers. They told me my tires were too hard.
I came in for ordinary radials. I came out with new mileage maker XP all-season steel-belted radials. They steered me right.
JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't steer you wrong.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the totally new Lynx from Lincoln Mercury and by Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Archie Manning trying to figure it out. They've just thrown their first interception. The only way they've moved, a couple of passes, nothing on the ground. The Cardinals have the ball now. 24-yard line of the Saints. The Cards ahead, 14-0. Jim Hart's pitch to Anderson. Anderson's pulled down by 78. Grooms.
Here we see another shot of the intercepted pass. Here's you see Childs. He anchors and squats in the middle, but Carney really comes from the outside. Archie did not see him at all. Carney does a good job of running down the right sideline, breaks back into the middle area, and is finally tackled by Ike Harris, number 82.
Second down 8. St. Louis threatening again on the 22-yard line of the Saints. Hart gives it off to Anderson. Off tackle the 20. Still going to the 15-yard line. Running with that power here. He's up to around 50, 55 yards already in the first half.
Barry Bennett is now playing left tackle, and Alex Price is playing right tackle. Barry Bennett had a shot at Anderson right at the hole, but missed it. He ran right through the traffic, right through the arms, and came out the other end for a nice big game. Here you see it. Watch it. Barry Bennett, number 63. There he is. Comes off the block, misses the tackle. Price comes from his right tackle position in number 75 and finally makes the tackle.
Willard Harrell checks into the backfield for the Cardinals. Chris Combs is in. Killian Gray, those are the men. Mathis is out. Washington is in to prevent. And a timeout has been called. A timeout has been called on the Cardinals, I believe. So the score is St. Louis 14 and New Orleans nothing.
At 35 degrees below zero, this is what you can do with a banana. This is what happens to a freshly cut rose. And this is premium motor oil. At 35 degrees below zero, this is what you can do with Mobil 1 motor oil. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas, helps get you going even at 35 below.
If anybody appreciates the end of the day, it's a Big A Auto Parts store. Because during the day, no other store works harder to give you quality parts and friendly service. Why, only this morning.
Okay, you need a muffler and a tailpipe brakes for a 67 Plymouth? We'll have it here by 11 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I can show you how that goes on.
You need 6 gas cans? Yes, we can grind drums. Is it a V8 or a 6?
Quality parts, friendly service. That's Big A, the hard-working auto parts store.
Dick Nolan bending over. The head coach of the Saints, his team yet to win a game, and they're trailing right now 14-0 and in deep trouble. The Cardinals have third and a yard to go on the Saints 15.
The Cardinals are really doing a good job of taking advantage of the flex defense. They're running at the guy who is off the ball and doing a good job.
Look how they're packed in there. They run out. They have the first down. Myers and Brown hitting Otis Anderson as he slashed off left tackle. But that gives the Cardinals a first down.
Straight ahead shot. Here again we see Anderson. Good block by Morris on the cornerback Ricky Ray. Finally tackled there by Tommy Myers, but it's after he makes several yards in the play.
Atlanta now leading the Lions 17-3. A minute left in the first period. First down. Jim Hart. Anderson stumbles, squirms forward to the 11-yard line.
That was a good call. He got tangled up in the block of the left guard that time, Joe Bostic. Had he not done that, he'd have popped through there for a nice game. But there was trouble. Traffic on the play.
Alex Price, reserve tackle, was there with him. Atlanta surprising the undefeated Lions thus far. Theismann threw for a pass, and now the Eagles have come back. And look at Baltimore, 10-3 over Miami in the second quarter. Miami usually waits till the fourth period. 2nd and 8. St. Louis on the 11-yard line of the Saints. Short man gets it. Morris. Morris running hard off tackle. He's been picking up 4 or 5. Looks like garbage, but they're all counting. They're 4 or 5 yards apiece every time he carries.
Well, the nice thing about it is they're maintaining a much better balance between the fullback and the halfback today, and that's always creates a problem for the defense. In the past, they've given the ball to the tailback most of the time from the I formation. Today, they're distributing the carriages by the backs very evenly, the fullback and the halfback, and they've been much more productive.
They have had balance. Morris has 50 yards rushing Hank, and Anderson has 47. This Beautiful balance. Third down and 4. Cardinals on the 7-yard line of the Saints.
Blitz.
There's a pass. It is touchdown. He hit Pat Tilley, a bump and run. Just lobbed that ball up there, and it floated into Pat Tilley's hand. And the Cardinals look almost perfect here in the first half.
Pat Tilley sucked that ball out of the air like it was a vacuum sweeper in his hands that time. He's caught 24 passes. Look at it. It's faded away from the defensive back. The ball was thrown on the outside, which makes it impossible for the defensive back to cover. Ricky Ray had no chance whatsoever. Didn't know where the ball was. Touchdown for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Is that dropping it in the breadbasket?
Oh, that's putting it right on the shelf.
All right, the kick by Little. It is up. Blocked. Blocked, and that's the first cheer that the Saints have had today. Don Reese got his arms up in the air and blocked that one. So the Cardinals have built a 20-0 lead with 8:42 to play in the first half.
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drink light beer from Miller. You know that Light's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, Light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this. For
Light
my
beer
money,
from Miller.
I say
Everything you
Light-
always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else...
Lincoln Mercury introduces Lynx. Lynx gives you more than exceptional fuel efficiency. Lynx gives you a special inner world that's a pleasure to be in. Starting today, the world belongs to an American car. Starting today, the world belongs to Lynx.
She was an innocent, moonlighting in a tough business.
Escort service. Do you know what that really is?
I get paid to date.
Fear stalks Portrait of an Escort, Wednesday night.
First of all, this was an automatic at the line of scrimmage. Jim Hart saw the blitz, changed it to a outside move to Pat Tilley, and the defensive back turned his head the wrong way. He should have turned it to the inside, not the outside. When you turn to the outside, you're turning away from where the ball was thrown and away from the receiver. Had he moved his head to the inside, he might have had a chance to make a play on the ball.
They're trying to kick the ball away from Motti. They get it over to Wilson at the 5, and that's twice in a row they failed to get the ball outside their 20. One of the goals of every football team is on kickoff to contain the other club's return inside their 20. When you've done that, your special team has achieved a special goal. Lee Nelson went down and made that. There's a tie, Broncos and the Browns. Pittsburgh moved away from Minnesota 13-3 now in the second period. Tony Galbraith is in the game now, 34 as a running back.
And Mike Strawn is in a tailback. This is the first time he's been able to play since preseason. This is a pretty good running duo here, and they could be very effective.
They're on their own 17. Strawn fumbles the ball. He's on it. He's right back on it. Strawn from Iowa State, his 6 years, had a knee. They did a study on the knee, orthoscope, where they put a light in the joint, and that's held in. There's Galbraith, 34. Galbraith had over 700 yards last year and 9 touchdowns. Muncie had 10 touchdowns. He's gone.
I'm still surprised that they don't put Galbraith at the tailback position and use him at that spot along with Wayne Wilson.
There's Galbraith. Rush Brown is in as a nose tackle for the Cardinals.
Good hole.
Ooh, and they bang him down. That's Mike Strawn trying to cut off his right tackle. Mike Arneson came over there, 57 to hit him.
Fumbled on the play, but it looks like the Saints recovered.
They keep that clock moving. Galbraith was right on it. 18-yard line, and Saints. Third down. There's the clock moving. 7.5 coming up in the first half. 20-0. St. Louis looking great here in the lead. Chandler split to this side.
5 defensive backs in the game.
Manning fading on on 3rd and 9. They get to him. He throws it out and over the head of Tony Galbraith, 34, coming out of the backfield. A big rush. Jankowski and Pollard jamming Archie Manning.
They actually had 6 backs in the game that time, and Bob Pollard, number 82, is an excellent pass rusher. Jankowski, number 78, is coming from the backside also, but there you saw Pollard. Jankowski, they put him in a squeeze that time and got him after he threw the football.
Erxleben the punt. Another good kick by Erxleben, a high floater. Bounding, taken on the 35. Bell has it. Bell, who had a 54-yard punt return earlier in the game, this time gets nowhere, and he's stopped on the St. Louis Cardinal 38-yard line by Stan Holloway covering. So there's a timeout with a score. St. Louis 20, New Orleans nothing.
Using this surgical fiber optic camera lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages. Rust, corrosion. Continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. Before this happens to you, put in Prestone 2. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula that forms a tough protective barrier to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Super Flush. No wonder we're #1.
If you're shopping for a new car, it's smart to talk to an Allstate agent before you buy.
Before I buy? Why?
Some cars get a break on insurance at Allstate.
Oh, we'll be right back.
Let's face it, all cars aren't built the same. At Allstate, some cost less to insure.
Buy one of these, and we'll pass the savings on to you. Up to 35% less on comprehensive.
35%?
We'll be right back.
Different rates for different cars. You're in good hands with Allstate.
That's a promise for me, Judy Davis.
Guy Benjamin, backup quarterback. Loosening up. They may put him in there when the Saints get the ball again. Speaking of quarterbacks, Hank, Jim Hart has thrown only 2 passes so far.
Yeah, it's very obvious they want to run the ball and stuff it at the Saints and keep the ball away from the Saints because they're very explosive when they have the football.
First down. Now Hart goes back for his 3rd pass of the game. He throws it deep to Gray. It is knocked away. Ricky Ray batted it away. They're trying to run a deep post pattern. Hart thinks they should have had it, but Ray made a fine defensive save on that one.
Gray that time did not turn him enough that time at all. Didn't put enough pressure on Ricky Ray. He made his fake too far away from Ray, but had the ball been thrown over the top a little higher, he still might have had a chance to make the reception.
Steinfurt's kicked the field goal for the Bronx. They lead the Browns 6-3. Hannafin looking over there. Big win for him. His first win as the head coach for the Cardinals last Sunday against the Eagles. Out in motion is Mel Gray. There's a pitch to Otis Anderson. He's at the 40, 45, running away and pulled down suddenly. 48-yard line. He was upended there by the left cornerback, Clarence Chapman. Once that Anderson gets the momentum going, he is hard to bring down. He weighs 218.
It was a double wing that time, and Deerdorf really did a fantastic job of pulling on the play, making the key block on the outside man. Anderson cut to the inside and saw running room and got the most he possibly could on the play. Now it's 3rd and 1. A beautiful play by Dan Deerdorf, 72.
Rod Phillips comes in the backfield, number 36. Now he goes out and Morris checks back in. They're trying to go for short yardage here on 3rd down. They have more than short yardage and barreling into the Saint territory with the ball is Anderson again with Myers and Chapman making the hit on him, and Otis Anderson rolling right along to another 100-yard game, which will be his 11th.
Tom Banks, that time the offensive center, came around and made a good block on Joe Fetterspiel. That's why the play was successful. Ran to the left side, but the block on Fetterspiel was beautiful by Banks, and that's why the play was successful. Watch Fetterspiel, 58. Watch Banks come around, throw the block. There he is, beautiful block, and he makes the yardage for the first down.
Cardinals on the Saints 45, first down. He pump fakes it, tosses it over the middle of the 40. Tilley running down the 35, and a little receiver who reminds you of Howard Twilley, who used to play with the Dolphins. He isn't very fast, but he's got the moves, the sure hands, and he has the smarts in the secondary. Pat Tilley.
Saw his mother out in front before the game, and she said, "Be sure and say something nice about that."
And
I told her it's very easy to say something nice about Pat Tilley. He came into the game catching 24 passes, but he's really a fine receiver.
What is it about a man like that? He doesn't have all those great speed skills you look for, but what's his secret?
Well, the great thing about a guy who doesn't have great speed, he knows that he doesn't have great speed, so he has to work extra hard, be very patient with specific moves, and that's exactly what he does.
First down, Cardinals on the Saint 32. Cardinals ahead 20-0. A fake draw. Hart wide open. Number 24, Wayne Morris. Well, I tell you, this Hart's mixing them up beautifully, faking well. They're playing almost flawless football, the Cardinals.
Well, you know, the thing that's hurt the Cardinals in the past so much is they've been a very strong fumbling team. Last year, they led the conference with 42 fumbles. Going into this game, they had 9 and lost 7. So far, they have not fumbled, and it makes a tremendous difference.
Jim Hart went on a weightlifting program. He said, I looked in the mirror this past winter, took a look at myself, and said, hey, do something. And I did it, not only for my football play, but also cosmetically. He strengthened his arm. He took weight off. He said he's in better shape now than he was 5 years ago. Second down. 3 to go. Morris looking for that hole. He has a first down over the 20, 15. Look at him go! Fighting his way inside the 5. Hard running by the two backs today, Otis Anderson and Wayne Morris.
That's the nice thing about, you know, when the fullback knows he's going to carry the ball some, he's very motivated and is going to prove that he should carry the ball more than he has. And for that reason, a lot of times, why they do it a great job, Tommy Myers is hurt on the play.
We have Tommy Myers shaken up. We'll be back here at the Superdome with a score. The Cardinals 20 and the Saints nothing.
On the American road today is an automobile with remarkable dimensions in electronics and technology. Like electronic control of vital engine functions, including electronic fuel injection for efficiency and performance. Like a computer-analyzed design for maximum room and comfort without extra weight. Like an automatic overdrive transmission for excellent highway mileage. This fine car is not from the test tracks of Europe. This is an American automobile called Lincoln. Lincoln Town Car 1981. A fine sense of tradition, remarkable achievements in technology.
The United States meets the best China and Japan have to offer in International Invitational Gymnastics next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
You don't think Wayne Morris has some wallop? Watch this.
Watch Dan Deerdorf, the tackle, pull on the play, make a beautiful block on the linebacker. Marsh blocks down on the lowest grooms. Tommy Myers has a shot, and he runs right over Tommy Myers, fights his way down to the 3-yard line. A fantastic run by Wayne Morris.
Anderson has gained 76 yards. Morris has 72 yards. That's real balance in that backfield. First and goal to go. The Cardinals on the same 3-yard line. 3:17 to play in the half. We have a report on Archie Manning that we'll give you. That old backfield full house again. Trying to go for his third touchdown. Wayne Morris stopped short of the goal line by about a foot. Archie Manning has strained tricep in his passing arm. And evidently will not be back, at least the temporary report is that, and Guy Benjamin is going to be the new quarterback for the Saints.
It's very obvious that the St. Louis Cardinals feel that they can run on Don Reese, the defensive right end. He's an excellent pass rusher, but he does not play the run that well, and they're doing a good job of blowing him off the football. There you see Guy Benjamin, number 7.
The old full house backfield. Otis Brown trying to make it. He's piled up. They have Brown, Morris, and Anderson behind the quarterback.
He tries to go over the top that time. There was not a good surge by the offensive line. Mike Fultz, number 72, got good penetration, as did the defensive back, Brown, and for that reason he was not able to get over the top and score the touchdown.
Third down and a foot to go for a Cardinal touchdown, 1.5 feet. Willard Harrell. touchdown for Wayne Morrison again.
Brad Oates, the left tackle, Joe Bostic, the left guard, tight end on that side, got a good push along with Tom Brahaney, the center. He jumped over the top, goes in for the touchdown.
And they scored with 2 minutes to play in the half. The kick is up by Little, drives it through, and the Cardinals are pouring it on here. So the 2-minute warning has been given with a score: St. Louis 27 and New Orleans nothing.
Where does St. Louis start that last drive?
Here's to good friends. Tonight is
Hey, Phil, I thought you were taking us to dinner.
I am. Okay, where is it? You're standing on it. What?
Hey, a clam bake.
I suppose you got Lowenbrow, too.
Yep.
You want the taste of a truly great American beer. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Phil, that was fantastic.
Hey, I only take my friends to the best places.
For the bottom of your engine, way down inside, there's a tough new oil, and it's called Gulf Pride. It's got 2 kinds of cleaners for the acid and the grime. It eats up dirt, water, and slime. It helps keep metal from scraping dry and fights those things that make a good car die. So remember your engine down here inside and the tough new oil that's called Gulf Pride.
They have a double tight end situation with full house backfield. They go to the left side like they've been doing successfully. Good blocking at the point of attack, as I mentioned earlier. Brad Oakes, Joe Bostic, Tom Brahaney all get a good push. Morris goes over the top for the touchdown.
This man, Motti, has been deep, but they've been kicking the ball away from him. Wilson's on the far sideline away from us, and Rogers on the near sideline.
And look at these stats. The Cardinals have rushed for 153 yards, the Saints for 4. Net passing, Cardinals 42, Saints 49. First downs 15-2 in favor of the Cardinals.
You say the Cardinals control the line of scrimmage today?
I'll go way out on a limb and say that's right, Kurt.
A courageous call, Mr. Spam. Courageous. Steve Little will kick off. Let's see if he boots it away from Motti again. He's trying to kick it to the corner. He does. Motti's out of it. There's Wayne Wilson at the 5. He's up to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, and to the 32-yard line. Saints ball, and coming on the field now is Guy Benjamin, the quarterback. Guy Benjamin. Lee Nelson made that last tackle for the Cardinals. Archie Manning has a strained triceps in his passing. Where are the triceps? To the back of the arm?
Yes, that's right. Benjamin, in competition so far this year, thrown 4 times, completed 2 for 12 yards, 50% average, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks.
Well, he's got quite a job and a long way to go to bring the club back. 27 points behind in the first half. His pass right over the middle. He hits the tight end, Henry Childs, at the 35-yard line. The Saints trying to line up very quickly. Tim Carney was there to make the hit of the secondary. They already called the play. 1:39 to go in the half.
Strawn and Galbraith are in the backfield, right, along with Henry Childs at the tight end position.
Benjamin looking out to Ike Harris. Now throws it, and it is nearly intercepted. It was intended for Childs, and Roy Green dashed in there and nearly picked it off. Archie Manning, number 8. You can see the bandage up on above his right elbow. He has strained the triceps in his passing arm. The 35-yard line of the Saints.
Guy Benjamin has a good college training, has had good training in college, I should say, as far as the offensive passing scheme of things is concerned, and he throws extremely well to the backs, so he should be effective in a 2-minute offense.
3rd down, 7.
He's got to hit the back or the tight end.
He throws it right into a Cardinals' hands. The rush was by Russ Brown. And Carl Allen, number 27, a pass came right to him, and he dropped it. He's a man that ran one back 70 last week.
The back was wide open. Benjamin just threw the ball very poorly. A little pressure from the outside by Jankowski, but he throws the ball way over the top of the intended receiver, Mike Strawn.
Here's the punt now by Erxleben. Gets another high one up. Fielded on the 30, dropped by the Cardinals' Mark Bell, and he goes down on the 31. Mark Bell's down on the 31-yard line. He gambled there, but they're ahead 27-0. There were 2 or 3 Saints bearing down on him. Talking to Manning down on the sidelines. Manning's been here with this club since 71. He was dogged by injuries. Finally got healthy. Had a fantastic year here under Hank Stram one year. But they're off to a bad start this season. Cardinals ball, first down. Cardinals lost their first 3, and they're rebounding. Hart puts it up to the sideline, scooting to the 40. Kid still going and out of bounds. Mel Gray, the veteran, Missouri. Gray has just caught a pass now in his 95th consecutive game. He is second on the active list to Harold Carmichael, who has the all-time record still going of 116 consecutive games. His team playing against the Redskins today.
You know, Jim Hart is really a bright, intelligent quarterback, as everybody knows, but he reads defenses and coverages very well. That time, Ricky Ray was way off the ball that time, and he threw in front for a 15-yard gain.
First down for St. Louis on their 47. Deep draw up to 50 and to the 47, 8-yard line. Otis Anderson. You notice those little zigzag moves of his? Most players would have been down at the line of scrimmage. The clock moving, 20 seconds to go.
You know, the great thing about Anderson, he has terrific balance. He's a flat-footed runner, and especially on synthetic turf, I think he really does an excellent job of taking advantage of seams, and he does a terrific job of bleeding yardage.
Cardinals are going to let that clock run out, and we're at the end of the first half at the Superdome in Orleans, Louisiana. And listen to the boos for the Saints as they go into their locker room. The Cardinals have walloped them in the first half, 27-0.
Finally, there's a fuel-efficient car that does more than get you from point A to point B. Introducing the Cougar 4-door from Lincoln Mercury. 4 doors is one thing, but a Cougar is another.
Willem Scott's family has been fishing for generations. But today, like most Dutch fishermen, they're worried about the coastal waters. Every time a ship cleans its bilge, there's the danger waste oil is being pumped out too. That's why the people of ITT developed this optical fiber device. If there's a risk of pollution, an alarm sounds, so the pumping can be stopped, protecting Willem Scott's future and his sons.
You don't have to be a genius to change your own oil and filter and save yourself up to $10. Valvoline Motor Oil shows you exactly how quick and easy it is with step-by-step change instructions on the back of Valvoline cans. It's really quite simple. Once you get the hang of it, just see for yourself, then do for yourself. No wonder more and more drivers are changing their own oil and filters and changing to Valvoline. It's a smart way to save up to 10 bananas without a lot of monkeying around. Right, Val?
Tuesday, a CBS special movie presentation. The true story of best-selling writer Cornelius Ryan. He lived the good life until an illness changed his world and everything began to crumble.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Berger with Irv Cross. Quickly, let's go to the scoreboard now and get you up to date with everything that's going on around the league. 14-7, Philadelphia ahead of Washington. Yes, Montgomery has played. He's also scored on a 3-yard run, but he left for a time because of an injury. New England Patriots have just scored on an interception, and they have jumped ahead of the Jets 14-6. The Jets missed an extra point after Todd hit Gaines with a 15-yard scoring pass, and now Gaines is out with an injury. 31-3. That is an accurate score. And listen to this. The Atlanta Falcons have scored 2 touchdowns on recovered Gary Danielson fumbles in that game, and Bartkowski has thrown 43 yards to Alfred Jenkins for a score. Baltimore and Miami, they are tied in the second period. Uwe Shaman nailed a 24-yard field goal to knot that count there. And St. Louis, the game you're watching, dominating New Orleans, 27-0. More woe for the Saints. Cleveland ahead of Denver 10-6 in that game. Sipe has gone 40 yards to Reggie Rucker for a touchdown. Cockcroft has kicked a 29-yard field goal. Pittsburgh ahead of Minnesota 13-3. Bradshaw 25 yards. Calvin Sweeney for the score. Franco Harris scores from 4 yards out. And Seattle is dominating Houston, even though Earl Campbell is playing. Jim Zorn has hit McCullum for the 5th touchdown pass of the year between those two. 22 yards in that game. And finally, Cincinnati and Green Bay are just underway, no score. Last week, there was an enormous controversy on the final play of the game between New Orleans and Miami. And Irv Cross, you come on in here because the commissioner now says there was no contact on this play, no offensive interference.
The rule, Brent, everybody knows, once the receiver gets up the field 5 yards, cannot be touched. The official judged the receiver pushed the defender down, calling offensive interference, therefore nullifying New Orleans' opportunity to score and win the ball game. The rule that we now know that there was no contact at all.
Now, one of the things the league said was that the official, when he had the angle on it, or if he was kind of in behind the defensive back, and they could understand why he called it, because apparently the defensive back fell away. Do you think he was acting, or he just slipped?
I think he just slipped. But, you know, when you get a situation like that, even though the official throws a flag down, the official with the best view of the play should be able to come in and overrule it.
Exactly. But that's the kind of year it is for New Orleans. Even a game they should have won goes down in the loss column. Let me show you some highlights now from around the league. How about Philadelphia and Washington? The Eagles, of course, trying to snap back after the first loss of the year in St. Louis, but Joe Theismann took him downtown on this one. 54 yards for a Redskin touchdown to Ricky Thompson, who simply outraced, busted a tackle, dashed in from the 10-yard line. Now Ron Jaworski coming on back, and he went to Leroy Harris for a touchdown. And Harris is somewhat overlooked, isn't he, Irv?
He really is. He's a pretty good running back. People don't recognize him for his receiving ability. Here he takes the ball down and scores and gets the Eagle offense on track.
Now here is a Theismann interception by Phil Roynell.
Everybody liked this. Of course, Roynell Young was the #1 draft choice by the Philadelphia Eagles, and there were some questions of whether or not the youngster could really play in the secondary. The Eagles thought they could, obviously drafting him #1, but he has great speed, as you see here, taking the ball in a scoring position for the ball club.
And here is Wilbert Montgomery swinging wide to the outside, scoring on a 4-yard run. I have to chuckle. I called him Phil Roynell. it's Philly's Roynell, yeah.
That's right.
Let's show everybody a little Detroit and Atlanta, Irv, because it's just been an unbelievable game. New plays piling in. Watch the blocked punt. Falcon touchdown coming up. Frank Reed going to ram it in for a touchdown. And now, Irv, what a long afternoon for Gary Danielson. He's going to fumble here, and Buddy Curry's going to jump on it and score.
It's amazing, you know, when you're hot, everything goes well for you here. Danielson can't handle the ball, and the Falcons pick it up and go in. The Falcons play very good special teams play as well as alert defense. Everybody knows that.
Watch this gorgeous pass by Bartkowski. Oh, it is as pretty as you'll ever see. Jenkins, end zone, touchdown Atlanta. And here it is again. This is not a replay, folks, going the other way. Danielson going to cough it up, and Joe Williams runs it in for the touchdown.
Looks like the Grits blitz is back. I tell you, the Atlanta Falcons are certainly alert today. No question about it.
Unbelievable, isn't it? All right, how about some highlights from the game that you've been watching, St. Louis and New Orleans? The Cardinals, a lot of coaches said they got talent. If Hannafin ever gets them together, look out. Watch here, Morris, 2-yard touchdown run. That ended an 88-yard scoring drive. And now we get Mark Bell, and it's going to be an enormous punt return, 54 yards, Irv.
1/3 of your plays in pro football are run by special teams. You have to contain people. Of course, the Cardinals are good scoring position on that play.
And then, of course, it was Morris for the score. Do you think they're looking away from O.J.? Maybe he's still a bit banged up. Now, here comes Jim Hart to Pat Tilley. Tilley, the leading Cardinal receiver this year, 7 yards and a score there. And finally, Wayne Morris back up over the top. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
They were urban guerrillas in designer jeans, and they succeeded in destroying their city. Not just another city, but one of the world's great cities. Watch 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
Back in New York, where I'm sure the philosopher must have said, age appears to be best in 4 things. Old wood best to burn, old friends to trust, and old authors to read. Now, you notice he didn't mention football because football is a young man's game. But take a look at the NFL today's College Players of the Week. Joe Klein is safety and special team player with Roger Williams College in Bristol, Rhode Island. Joe Klein is a Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. He is 40 years old. I've got over 600 missions in a helicopter, he says. Nothing here is going to be too bad.
I had a desire to see if I could still play football. I don't think anybody should be counted out simply because of their age. The first couple days, the first few steps in the morning when we were doing the 2-a-days were really something else. Made me aware of some muscles that I hadn't exercised probably since I was in high school. I don't think they look up to me really as a leader, maybe as a persistent guy, because I absolutely refuse to quit. But if I can whip any of them, then I'll get their position. It's that simple.
And now across the continent at California's Monterey Peninsula Junior College, keep your eye on number 50. He is Fritz von Berg, former taxi driver, construction worker, pizza shop owner, hairstylist. His uniform number is his age.
I've decided I'm not going to end my life sitting around saying I should have or if I. There's a lot of guys that like to be here that couldn't be, and I kind of see my role as part of playing out something they would like to do. I'm a very aggressive and hostile person. So one guy said, I don't want to hurt old man, and I told him later, you might well understand something. I'll knock you right out if I get a chance. You know, I won't fool around. So you better treat me the same way.
Unfortunately, Irv, you have used up all your eligibility. Northwestern would dearly love to have you back in some sport.
I would love to give the Wildcats a shot, too.
You're in better shape than those 40 and 50-year-olds, Irv. Now let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying.
Let's summarize the scoring of that first half. Cardinals took the ball the first time, went 88 yards. Magnificent drive. Wayne Morris over for the score, 2 yards out. First play of the second period, Wayne Morris again, a 2-yard plunge, and then a pass from Hart to Tilley. The third score, and Morris counted again. The Cardinals have completely dominated that line of scrimmage, Hank.
Yeah, there's no question about the fact they've dominated the game very convincingly, and of course the important thing is that they've been able to run the ball so well, Kurt. They came off the bus running the football. They've been very cautious as far as the forward pass is concerned. They've been successful running it, and I'm sure they're going to continue to run it as the game goes on.
When we did the game, the Cardinal overtime game, they lost to San Francisco. In that game, on the way out to the airport, you said to me the Cardinals will be hurt from this year. They've got some talent.
Yes, they really have some talent, and the great thing about their game today, as I mentioned earlier, they fumbled 42 times last year. Going into the game, they fumbled 9 times. Today, they have not fumbled at all, and it's made a tremendous difference in the way they perform.
They haven't done anything wrong at all.
No, they haven't.
All right, we're going to be back here at the Superdome in New Orleans with the Cardinals out in front, 27-0.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Time's just right. That'll be a full moon. Hardly any wind. And the Lowenbrau's cold. Sure beats the office.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Sure hope the fish don't bother us.
The Toyota Celica Super is life in the fast lane that's almost beyond belief. But the Super's not the only way to join the fast crowd. There's a now classic sporty Celica GT Coupe and the GT Liftback. And for those who would like a sporty Celica for a little less money, there's the ST, the lowest price Celica. To find out which one's for you, drive a Celica. Then just trust your feelings. A Celica selection.
That arch represents a doorway to a new territory, a new life. I'm Mel Gray of the NFL St. Louis Cardinals, and I would like to show you some of the United Way volunteers that are helping the handicapped find a new way of life here in St. Louis. This is where the handicapped receive vocational counseling and rehabilitation services. United Way support makes this program possible here and in cities all across the country. How you doing, Robert? I know how important this work is because of my brother, who was a star athlete, until a car accident shattered his future and at the age of 20 left him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. It's not easy adjusting, but here they're finding a gateway to a new way of life. I feel good in knowing that the United Way is always there, opening doorways for all of us to receive help and to give it. And thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.